Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's start second lesson for Sarf. In this lesson we will learn about types of words. So before we start that, I want to introduce you to الصيغة. الصيغة is the book that I'm using for Sarf. It's fully in Arabic, but I will translate everything for you guys in slides. Just letting you guys know that I'm using this book for صرف. التقسيم الأول للفعل. The first classification of the verb is based on its meaning and tense. According to this classification, the verb is divided into three types. So we'll learn about the ماضي and مضارع in the first lesson. So let's do some recap. So الماضي we said is the verb of past tense, right? And مضارع is present and future tense. So now الأمر. الأمر is command verb or imperative verb. So it's also under first classification. So the amr is a verb that expresses a request or command to perform an action addressed to the one being spoken to. Al-mukhatab. Al-mukhatab is the one who's being spoken to, or second person in the future tense. So its form is if'al. Okay, for example. So this is our first classification of verbs. So second classification is al-ma'lum and majhul. What is ma'lum? Ma'lum is also called ma'ruf. So it is when we know the active person of verb. It's called fa'ilun, fa'il. So active person is called fa'il. So basically the one who's performing action of a verb. So that verb is called ma'lum. So for example, ضرب زيد عمرا. Zaid hit Amr. So in this sentence we know that Zaid is doing action of hitting, right? So that's why the ضرب will be ma'lum. We know the person who is doing action. And majhul is when we do not know an active person, fa'il of verb. So in that case the verb will be called majhul, like ضرب زيد. Zaid was beaten. We do not know who beat up Zaid. So he was beaten. ضرب means beaten. We do not know who did the action. So this kind of verb will be called majhul. So one verb can have ma'lum form and also majhul form. We will learn about this in future lessons inshallah. So التقسيم الثالث, the third classification is مثبت and منفي. So positive and negative. So every verb has either positive or negative form. So positive is a verb that includes that an action has actually happened or is happening right now. Like ضرب, he hit, or يضرب, he hits or he's doing it right now, right? So منفي is negative. So is a verb that includes the absence of a negation of an action. For example, ما ضرب, he did not hit, or لا يضرب, he does not hit, right? So every verb has مثبت and منفي, the positive and negative form. So that's our third classification. And the fourth, التقسيم الرابع, fourth classification. So the fourth classification is based on the root letters. So verb can have 3 root letters or 4 root letters. For example, نصر, nun, صدر is the root letters, the actual root letters of the verb. And for rubai, 4 root letters is like بعثرة, for example, right? And each of these types, ثلاثي and رباعي, can have either مجرد or مزيد فيه. مجرد is simple, so basically when it does not have any additional letters in its past tense. Remember guys, in past tense, in future tense, we do not look on the present or future tense when we look for added letters, like Nasara, right? It has only 3 root letters. It doesn't have any additional letters. And for mazid fihi is additional. So both ruba'i and thulathi can have mazid fihi, basically additional letters in them. So like istansara. So in this example, alif sin ta was added to nasara, so it became istansara. So this kind of verb will be called thulathi mazid fihi. So it has 3 root letters. It's called thulathi, and it was added, so it will be called mazid fihi. Thulathi mazid fihi. And this one, the simple form, is called thulathi mujarrad, or this ba'thara is called ruba'i mujarrad. Why? Because it doesn't have any additional letters. So our fifth classification, التقسيم الخامس للفعل. So this classification is based on type of the letters in a verb. So it has 4 classifications, 4 different types. So first, الصحيح, proper, that we know, like nasara, nun, sadra. Second, mahmus, the word that has hamza in it. Mu'tal, that contains a weak letter, like qala. And muda'af, that contains double letter, like radda. Radda, the shadda means here that we have 2 dals here, right? So basically it was radada, but we put shadda, so it become radda. Okay, what is sahih, proper? So sahih, it is a verb that does not contain any weak letters, like alif, waw, nun. These 3 letters called weak letters, and it doesn't have hamza amongst its root letters also. Right? So this akhadha will not be called sahih. Why? Because it has hamza in it. Okay, and so the mahmus. What is mahmus? Like we said, this is a verb that has hamza amongst its root letters. So, and we give example for akhadha. So if hamza is in the beginning of a word, then it is called mahmuzul fa'i. Mahmuzul fa'i. Why fa? We learned in the first lesson that fa'ul kalima, aynul kalima, and lamul kalima is called the first letter in the word is called fa'ul kalima, second aynul kalima, and third lamul kalima. So mahmuzul fa'i is when hamza is in the first letter, like akhadha. And if it is in the middle, it will be called mahmuzul ayni. So the hamza will be in the middle of the word. And when it is at the end, it will be called mahmuzul lami, like qara'a. The hamza at the end. So al-mu'tal. Al-mu'tallu. So what is mu'tal? Mu'tal is a verb that has one of the weak letters amongst its root letters. So these weak letters called huruful illah. So, and they are alif, waw, and ya. So if the weak letter is in the beginning of the word, it will be called مثال. المثال, like وجد. Wow in the beginning of the word. So the حروف الأصلي, the root letters are واو, جيم, دال. And if it's in the middle, it will be called أجوف. الأجوف. So example, قال. Alif in the middle, but later on we will learn that this alif is actually waw. So, and if the letter, the weak letter at the end, it will be called الناقص. الناقص, like دعاء, like, okay. And if a word has two weak letters, it will be called اللفيف. And لفيف has two types. اللفيف لفيف مقرون, when the two, both of them are next to each other, like طوا, واو, and alif مقصورة are together. So this type of لفيف will be called لفيف مقرون. And if they are separate, it will be called لفيف مفروق, like وقى. Wow at the beginning and ya at the end. So this type will be called لفيف مفروق. Okay, and the last type is مضاعف. المضاعف is the verb that has two in to the same letters, like مد. مد has two dals, like we see in شدة, and it doesn't matter is it ثلاثي or رباعي, 4 letter or 3 letter roots. Like مد, it is two dals here and we put شدة, like. And also زلزلة, we have two zals and also lam, and also وسوسة, it has two waws and two sins, it will be مضاعف. And okay, and so at the end we got 10 varieties of verbs. So we have 1 for صحيح, 3 for مهموز, مهموز الفاء, مهموز العين, and مهموز اللام. And for معتل we have مثال, أجوف, الناقص, لفيف مقرون, and لفيف مفروق. And we have 1 مضاعف. So, and this all types of verbs. Now أقسام الاسم, types of اسم. So اسم divided into 3 types: مصدر, مشتق, and جامد. So مصدر is a name اسم that denotes the action or event itself without specifying the time, like الضرب, hitting, beating, الفتح, like opening, without specifying a time. And mushtaq, al-mushtaq is a name is ism that is derived from a verb, like for example الضارب. الضارب is derived from a verb which is ضرب, hit, and ضارب is the one who's beating. And this type of ism will be called اسم الفاعل, and mushtaq then اسم الفاعل. And like مضروب also, مضروب is one who was beaten, like this is اسم المفعول type. And this is اسم الفاعل and اسم المفعول are مشتق, اسم المشتق, the isms that were derived from verb. There are more than these 2 that we will learn later on in the course, inshallah. So مصدر and mushtaq are divided into ثلاثي مجرد and ثلاثي مزيد, as well as رباعي مجرد and رباعي مزيد فيه, like also like verbs that they've been derived from. Like for example نصر is ثلاثي مجرد it has مصدر نصر helping help, and مشتق اسم الفاعل will be ناصر helper. Likewise أكرم is ثلاثي مزيد فيه, and we have مصدر إكرام and مشتق مكرم. Likewise for رباعي دحرج دحرجة and مدحرج. So, and the last type is جامد. الجامد is اسم which is neither مصدر or nor مشتق. المشتق. So basically is the basic noun, we can say. Like رجل, a man, حمار, a donkey, بيت, a house. These words were like are not derived from a verb. They're ism by itself, like basically noun, right? اسم الجامد are also have their ثلاثي مجرد, ثلاثي رباعي مجرد, and خماسي, and this is only type that has خماسي, the 5 root letters, like سفرجل. سفرجل is a quince, the fruit. So they have مجرد and they also have مزيد فيه also. So, and about the now حرف. Sarf studies mostly studies the فعل, verb, and a little bit of ism, because the verbs they have many changes. They change a lot. They have a lot of tasarifs, inflectual forms, and the nouns isms have a little bit less than fi'ls, but حروف حرف particle doesn't have any. They always stay in the same state without change. So this is homework for you guys. You should know all that we mentioned above, but for next lesson you at least should know what is معلوم and مجهول, مجرد, المزيد فيه, المثبت, منفي, and ماضي, مضارع, and أمر. So especially these ones. Inshallah, see you in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
بأنك منطقي وبياني عربية